If this report is true, then perhaps Africa is finally saying enough is enough. Like enough is enough. For too long, many Africans have watched reports of xenophobic violence in South Africa. Habajama, back to back. For how long? And they ask the same question. How long can we continue talking about African unity? Well, fellow Africans fear for their lives. Are you guys not tired? Every day it is South Africa. Are you guys not tired? Business as usual cannot continue again. No. South Africans, business as usual cannot continue. If the promise of one Africa, it means anything to you South Africans. Unity is not built by speeches at the conference or photo opportunities. Just the way your president, he liked making speeches that he never kept. Unity is not built by that. Unity is built by protecting human dignity, respecting one another, and ensuring every African can live without fear anywhere on the continent. Mr. President, I doubt if you have that charisma, but now you want to go to Ghana. And I'm so happy the way the Ghanaian president or the Ghana president is handling this. I hope every other president will do that. If African leaders want unity to be taken serious, then action must match our words. We don't just talk, we want to see actions. Please, do you think African government, now I'm asking you this question sincerely, do you think African government should take a stronger collective stand against xenophobic violence, or should diplomacy come first? Share your thoughts, because it is quite unfortunate. It surprises me that South African president is requesting to go to Ghana. For what? For what? That you've not addressed the issue that is on ground. Your eye na the money, na the goal where they there, then be your eye. She South African says they can survive without any other African country. Like I said in my previous video, I said it is not about the South Africans. It is about South Africa as a country, because you have branches to tap from. Every country is important. But like I said, a lot of you will still come under the comment section and write rubbish. I am so glad. Like Ghana president, thank you very much. I am so glad for rejecting that visit. It does not deserve it. Only if other African countries will take this seriously and fight against xenophobic and let them know that they cannot survive it alone. If they want to survive it alone, they should go on their own. Remove them in African Union trade and movement. Remove them in anything concerning Africa. Remove them. South Africans are capable to live alone. And like I said, a lot of wifraf will still come under the comment section and write nonsense, because they now violent, full in heart, bitterness, now full in heart. I like it. Look at the disgrace. Shame on you. Have a nice.
Good people, thank you so much for joining us once again. I am Nancy and this is Nancy Reacts. For those joining us for the very first time, please be sure to take a second to subscribe and hit the notification button so that every time we upload a video, you'll be the first one to know. For our own subscribers, our coming back subscribers, thank you so much. You guys are the real MVPs. We really appreciate the love and the support. Thank you so much, and let's get into it. We are back again in South Africa, and the news reaching us today is that Ghana made a move in response to the South Africa xenophobic crisis. Ghana's president refused or said no to Cyril Ramaphosa, the president of South Africa, after his state visit request. The president of Ghana said no, not now. Until you fix the issue that is ongoing, until you fix your country, there will be no state visit for now. And he postponed the state visit. And I believe that Ghana is sending a very, very strong message to South Africa. And the message is that business will not be as usual. Business will not continue as usual. Leaders should be able to hold each other accountable. Leaders should take responsibility of what is happening in their own country. I believe this is just a wake-up call to all of other African countries that no, business will not continue as usual. Things will not run as though nothing happened. And South Africans should face the consequences of the choices that they made. And no African country will tolerate or will welcome you until you fix your country, until you fix the errors that are happening in your country. Things will not be as usual. I believe South Africans thought that, yeah, we will do this, and then every time we want to visit another country, they will welcome us with open arms. But no, very serious things happened, and there are things that we do not expect them to happen from an African country. These are things we are used to when they happen from the Asian countries, from America, from any other country that is not of blacks. But happening from a black country, that is not right. And that is why I am glad that Ghana stood their ground and showed South Africa that no, business will not be as usual. And for those who do not know what I'm talking about, let's get into some videos so that you can get a clear understanding of what is really happening between Ghana and South Africa. Let's get into some videos.
South Africa, them presidents don't make an appointment for go see Ghana, them presidents. Wetin Ghana, them presidents say? They don't decline everything. They say we no want to see you again. Then get an appointment where them foresee next month, August, where them for go talk on diplomacy and other things them. Now the Ghanaian government don't say they don't want to see them again based on the xenophobic acts where they go on. When I know say they repatriate many Ghanaians them from South Africa to Ghana. And what in the government look at? The government look at and say, if we encourage South Africa them presidents, when Ramaphosa, based on the things them we don't happen in South Africa, we your citizens them for avoid chaos, for avoid any protest, any harm to we the government. Now this make them say they not go tolerate them anymore. In fact, they don't want the call, they don't want the meeting, they don't want the candy. There is no need for them can pray for a red carpet. That red carpet they not deserve them anymore, South Africa anymore. So I love the action where Ghanaian then they take in this particular moment because they know say them people and back suffer a lot. And also I commend Uganda. When I see they don't begin to swim up and they pull video, go na them banks them, go na the investment places them for tell them say themselves they need for pack and go. If all other African countries them mobilize, then come together. The likes of Tanzania, them presidents also, if you pull a statement, Usai talk say, within a specific date, Usai say they're all for return back. No border crossing, nothing to nothing. If all Africans then come together, South Africa, they pick back their sense. The only person who get sense na South Africa na Malema. Malema talk say, the government's not the sponsor. And if we look, we see the guy where they lead the protesters them. He go sit down with the president, Ramaphosa. Then get a conversation, then they laugh there. People and see them. The things come out. That's don't show say the government they support them for their acts and what then they do so. And they don't take many other Africans' lives them. They don't injure many people. Make people all left them beautiful things them like them just deteriorate people in life. Where they come into another side, where they integrate, so they can't start back. You find them very difficult. One time I see the protesters, the leaders, if they talk say in Waka all African countries them, for tell them how them for fix their country, for tell them how them for fight their government, for let them fix their country. The day when under the mass foods now other African country, like example Nigeria, because India against Nigeria then, and then they return with in life again. Congratulations once more again to the Ghanaian government for this act. Now so I want to let other African countries then they do. Let them cut all good relationship, business ties all with South Africa. let them get sense. Una share the video. Super World King find money like slave, live like a king, the only king where they buy cheap.
Ghana has reportedly turned down a request for a state visit by South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, according to Ghanaian officials who spoke to DW. The decision comes as tensions remain high over recent xenophobic violence in South Africa. Last week, Ghana raised concerns following the killing of a Ghanaian citizen amid protests on 30th June that called for migrants to leave the country. Sources within the Ghanaian government say the planned visit, which was expected to take place in early August, was declined to avoid possible public backlash and protests in Ghana while emotions around the issue remain strong. But despite the tensions, Ghana's High Commissioner to South Africa says relations between the two countries remain strong.
We don't have any diplomatic row between the two countries. The two countries have been good in terms of friendship, in terms of our bilateral transaction, in terms of also our multilateral businesses across board. I think that the government of Ghana had only wanted what it's demanded of every other government across the globe, that you take care of any country citizens that find themselves in your country. You make sure that we have this, you call it the spirit of Ubuntu, working among all of us. I think at a point we felt that, and rightly so, that there was a bit of a challenge when it came to those things. And I'm sure that the government is doing much to improve upon that. Relationships are top notch. There's no diplomatic row between the two of us. We are only being fair and being that person that is supposed to hold you accountable. I'm sure that if these things were to be happening in Ghana, it would be the same thing. We'll be holding the Ghanaian government accountable. So it's not wrong that we hold the South African government accountable.
South Africa really chose the wrong time, and I've truly miscalculated completely if they thought they could do this rubbish under Foreign Minister Samuel Ablakwa. Let me tell you guys something. In just 1 year, there's not been once where Ghanaians have been in trouble and Samuel Ablakwa has not showed up yet or hasn't taken up a full-blown investigation. He has been on top of it. We had a time where Ghanaians were in trouble and being unalived between the Russian-Ukraine war, right? There was an incident like that. He showed up. He looked into it. Ghanaians were having issues and being detained by some Israelis in Tel Aviv. He showed up. He looked into it. And many other examples. He's been on top of these things, truly doing justice to the role of a foreign minister, of what a foreign minister should do. But you know, this isn't an isolated scuffle. This is a reoccurring fever. This is a reoccurring fever that South Africa, the rainbow nation, is failing its neighbors, the very neighbors who bled and sacrificed to help end apartheid. Remember, apartheid. South Africans need to understand that what they're doing is not only dangerous, it is strategically reckless.
Ghana has refused for President Cyril Ramaphosa to come to Ghana because of the xenophobia that's happening in South Africa. In order for you to understand how serious this is, you need to look back in April, when Ghana raised concerns over a Ghanaian being intimidated by Victoria Africa. I'm pretty sure you know who Victoria Africa is, a member of the Patriotic Alliance. There was a massive video that was trending, went viral, of her intimidating this Ghanaian national. Eventually, we expected a meeting to happen between Pretoria and Ghana, but that never happened, or at least, at the very least, we don't know if that meeting ever took place. But what we do know is that Pretoria did release a statement saying that they are going to crack down on all these anti-migrant movements, all these movements that are xenophobic. That was Pretoria. I'm paraphrasing. They didn't actually say that, word for word, but that's what, that's the statement that Pretoria was, that's the type of energy Pretoria was giving out. The question you're probably going to ask me is, did they actually do that? No, not really. Maybe they were doing it undercover, but, publicly speaking, we've been seeing that all these anti-migrant movements have been growing in stature. I mean, they've been gaining so much popularity. All these protests happening across the entire country. It doesn't look like there was much of a crackdown. Now, fast forward now to July, South Africa and Ghana were now scheduled to have basically a meeting about diplomacy, trade, not about immigration. That's small issues. We're talking about money here. But now what Ghana has done, they're like, we can't talk about business, we can't talk about trade, we can't talk about us cooperating together with this issue of xenophobia that's currently happening in South Africa, that's currently happening in your country. It's gonna overshadow everything. Sort that issue out, and then maybe we can revisit it. So they've postponed it to August, and it will be interesting to see how things will be in August. I maybe things would have smoothened out, but definitely what we're clearly seeing is a signal from an African country to say, South Africa, your position within the African continent is at threat, because now we're gonna be looking at you guys, through a different lens. Because if you don't handle your business, it's gonna stop us from doing business. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if South Africa is gonna continue to be tentative and sensitive over issues of immigration and over issues of individuals who are targeting foreign nationals. It'll be interesting to see if South Africa is still gonna be, playing on the fence on this matter, or are they going to take decisive action? That is a question that only the South African government will be able to answer.
Finally, I know President John Dramani Mahama will put us in trouble. Now I understand, and then I agree. Imagine President John Dramani Mahama is saying, Ramaphosa, go back. No. Is it not this man want to put us in trouble? Ghanaians, is it that your president want to put us in trouble? Why will President Mahama would tell Ramaphosa or Ramafago, I don't know, the father to the fatherless in South Africa? Why will he tell him not to come for the state visit? Huh? President Ramaphosa want to come and enjoy Ghana jollof in Jubilee House. But lo and behold, President of Ghana say, don't come, go back and face your country. Go and face your country. Now, do you know that this will make South Africa to put sanction on us? Now South Africa, now what will South Africa say to this when they now do their president to do like Ghana? See, this is what you do. This is what you do. This is what you do. In fact, +4 for you. Charlie, +4 from President Mahama. Is good. They need to make sure they remove President Ramaphosa out of everything that have to do with African president. Let him go and face his country, face his people. There is too much corruption in the border. South Africa said there is too much corruption in the Home Affairs. There is too much corruption in the police. There is too much corruption in the school. There is too much corruption in the hospital. So let him. If I don't want to see that man anywhere close to the President of Ghana is very stubborn. He's very stubborn. I tell President, leave him. Leave him. Let him come and eat Ghana jollof. They said no. I've been begging so that Ramaphosa will come together. Wonderful. Not only you can do go back. Even we can do go back to your country. Go feast South Africa. Okay, guys, this is what is going on. Ramaphosa, you do too much. You do too much. You see the pressure in your country. You know what to come to do. If they slap you, you've got you see the way your children are carrying stick. They are carrying. If Ghanaians will never eat mush you on the street of Accra, we don't put you in our hospital. We don't put foreigner in your I beg, let me just go. South Africa, just relax. I will talk to the president, okay? Don't worry, everything will be settled. I just understand that Ramaphosa.
Ghana has reportedly turned down a request for a state visit by South African President Cyril Ramaphosa. Bam. So we have all heard of the recent xenophobic attacks in South Africa. At least we have seen some of the actions that their citizens are taking against some foreigners, especially the black community, because I haven't seen much of that energy being channeled to the white community living in South Africa. And then with the notion that, oh, they are illegal immigrants and what. Well, I think that part, that argument is flawed in a way, because I have also watched videos where people rightfully have their documents, people have their legal requirements to be there, they have their permits to live and work in South Africa, but are not even given the chance to prove that they have the legal documents to be there. And you have some of these activists saying that they should still go back to their country and whatever. And there's one particular guy that is leading this whole thing, who is saying that we should go back to our country, and then if we come back as legal migrants, then we can come and work for them, and the South Africans wouldn't have to work, and they'll be paid 1 million rand, and you will come to, we'll make another video and then talk about all of that. But then you as a president do not sit and see all these things happening. And I haven't seen, well, you can draw my attention or prompt me, tag me in any of these videos where your president has condemned any of these things that these guys are doing. Of course, you support whatever is happening with that same mindset, with that same notion that you are portraying out there. Whatever agenda I know it is that they have, you keep it to yourself. But I know this whole action is not against illegal immigrants. So just like they say, opinions are like noses and everyone has one. This is mine. I think Ghana declining the request to have that diplomatic meeting is a step in the right direction.
Ghana declines South African president state visit to Ghana over xenophobic attack on their nationals. This is beautiful. This is very beautiful. And I am very sure that as it has started, a lot of African nations will follow this trend. So Cyril Ramaphosa is on an African tour to visit some African countries, to have conversations with them, to build a strong business partnership with them. And 2 weeks ago, Cyril Ramaphosa was in DR Congo, where most of the DR Congo nationals complained why their government has allowed access to the South African government to come and visit their country during a time where other African nationals were under xenophobic attacks in South Africa. The Ghana government has declined a planned state visit by South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, stating concern over the killing of a Ghanaian national and reported xenophobic attacks targeting Ghanaians in South Africa. The decision follows the death of 40-year-old Bashiru Isaac, who Ghanaian authorities says was killed during demonstration linked to renewed attacks against foreign nationals in South Africa on June 30th, 2026. So we saw a video where the Ghana Foreign Ministry was demanding access from a South African of a Ghanaian who was shot and was lying in a pool of blood during the 30th June xenophobic attack in South Africa. And the South Africans denied that it wasn't a Ghanaian and that attack wasn't even part of the 30th June protest they did. They lied.
The truth of the matter is that we're treating South Africa with kids' glove. Yeah.
You think we should toughen up on them?
I think they've taken these things for granted. It has become their way of life. Some few misguided political elements try to thrive on this, use it to launch themselves into national political positions using these attacks.
Yeah.
So if you see what is happening right now, but for this xenophobic attack, who was Jacinta? Who knew about her? So I don't know whether she's actually the daughter of Jacob Zuma, but you can realize that this particular apple fell very, very far away from the tree. Because and the effrontery, the impudence that she thinks she can even communicate to Ghana. Ghanaians are overreacting. It doesn't. Really? Seriously?
I found that to be very unfortunate.
So for me, this is quite unusual of me, but I think I also now back the calls that they can go to hell, somersault, and come back. That particular mining company from South Africa, they shouldn't have their licenses renewed.
Really?
Oh, yes, I support that call.
Irrespective of their contributions to our economy.
What are they contributing?
They pay taxes, they pay
The
royalties.
East Legon Executive Club, they should come together and come and take that money.
They should pool resources and come and take the money.
Yes, that is what they are actually talking about now. That you get people who know next to nothing. All they do is because they are one of the African countries that get paid unemployment benefits allowance.
Yeah.
They just sit and drink, and that's all. That's all the work they do. And now, because the money for drinking is finished, they are going to take over somebody's business because the person came there, struggled, set up a business, and his only crime is that he's not from South Africa.
Yeah.
So Jacinta and her people have the effrontery to go and say, go back to Ghana. We are taking over your business. If you like, if we are also breaking the law there, you can also take it. Good. Your lease has expired at Takwa. So we are not renewing it for you. Go back to South Africa and fix South Africa mines. You can also do your mining. There's gold in South Africa, and they should go there and mine. Yes. And DSTV and MTN should also get ready.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, yes. No, you see, I listened to one Nigerian senator who said, if we don't all add mad and there is a balance of madness, there will be no sanity.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Because I remember a famous quote by Rollins who says, if your opponent pulls a gun and you also pull a gun, at least now there's a stalemate.
Exactly.
So you both put it down and negotiate.
Yeah.
So it looks as if we've tolerated it right from 2008, 2015. The worst was 2008 and 2015, where they even killed people.
Yeah.
Yesterday, one gentleman at the airport
He was showing his scars and everything.
My people, you see, there was one Ghanaian who was killed during the xenophobic crisis in South Africa. 2 Nigerians were killed. Mozambique raised an alarm over concerns of attack on their own citizens. And this has now become a diplomatic issue and no longer a law enforcement issue. This is a diplomatic issue. 1,000 Ghanaians have already come back home, and many more are signing to go back to their home. They do not want to be in South Africa again because South Africa said, no, go back to your country. And for sure, people are going back and leaving that country to you. President Mahama saying no to the South Africans is not something that is creating enmity, but it is just a principle and a standard that he has raised to show South Africa that no, when you attack one African country, when you attack our citizens, then there will be no business as usual. For God's sake, what is he going to do in Ghana? What is he going to say? Actually, if the Ghanaian president had accepted the state visit request from President Ramaphosa, then that would have been a great betrayal to his people. Because tell me, how do you accept a request from the president of a nation who just killed one of your citizens, who just chased out your citizens who were residing in that country? What did South Africans really expect? Not just from Ghana, but from every other African country. What do you guys expect? What are your expectations? How do you think the African countries will have reacted to you guys? Do you want us to give you a standing ovation? No. Whatever you guys did was wrong. And if my memory serves me right, President Mahama publicly came out to the defense of Ramaphosa when Donald Trump, the president of America, was accusing him, saying that the white South Africans in his country were being persecuted. Mahama publicly came to the defense of Ramaphosa. So this has nothing to do with enmity, but just standing on business and making sure that your citizens are safe, even in another African country. Just the way we expect that South Africans, wherever they will go in a different country, they will expect that they are received, well taken care of, and they are assured of their safety. And that is what Mahama expected from South Africa. But what did they receive? What really did they receive? This isn't about politics, it's about principles. State visits are among the highest expression of trust between nations. They symbolize friendship and oneness. But when one country decides or declines another state visit request, is a clear communication that there is need to check, that there is need for South Africans to check on themselves. Under these circumstances of them practicing xenophobia against their own brothers from other African countries. What is Pan-Africanism really? Pan-Africanism means standing with one another, speaking with one voice, speaking with one language, and having each other's back. But did South Africa have another country's back or another African country's back? Did they have support for other countries the way we support them in their music, even support them when they visit our countries? No, they did not. But otherwise, they decided to chase out their fellow Africans. And that is not Pan-Africanism. We cannot avoid this conversation. We cannot avoid to address this issue, as avoidance has never solved any problems. We should talk about this. Actually, let's keep the conversation going in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Do you think South Africa really practiced Pan-Africanism? Let's keep the conversation going. I mean, African countries should not remain silent to simply preserve appearances or to look like they are so good and this does not involve them. Let me tell you, if it has happened to Ghanaians, it will happen to Kenyans, it will happen to Nigerians. It has already happened to these countries that I've mentioned. Thousands of Kenyans in South Africa already back home. Nigerians, 2 Nigerians were killed during the xenophobic crisis. So no country is inevitable to such things when they happen from another African country. I believe Nigeria should demand answers. Ghana should hold South Africa accountable, and every other country in the African continent should hold South Africa accountable for their actions. And even as all this is happening, I know the questions in every person's mind is, where is the African Union? African Union is meant to promote peace. It is meant to protect human lives. It is meant to protect the African human rights and strengthen collaboration between Africa states, resolve dispute and help build unity. But where have they been? They have been so silent. We have not heard from them. When another African country start raising concerns of the safety of their citizens in another African country, where is the African Union? When the African Union is absent, then individual countries are forced to take matters in their own hands. They are forced to step up and act on their own. They are forced to step up and defend their citizens. The African Union lacks the authority and the willingness to step in when they are needed the most. And I think they should do better, really. They should do better. Otherwise, what is their role? What is their role in Africa? Africa should create her own version of Pan-Africanism. This action that Ghana took is just an indication that there is a rise of a new Africanism, and there will not be business as usual for South Africa. Defending South African life is the highest form of expression of solidarity, of oneness, unity, and true Pan-Africanism. Thank you so much for joining us today. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Let's keep this conversation going. For those who have not subscribed yet, please be sure to hit the subscribe and the notification button so that every time we upload a video, you'll be the first one to know. This is also a huge encouragement for us to continue making more of such videos. Thank you so much, and God bless you.